Hey, what's up, YouTube? Travis here. After, man, it's been a long time since I made a video. I don't know how long now. Probably in the late fall or early winter sometime. Um, Whenever I go through these long spans without making a video, I always have this weird feeling because I still watch videos. So I have this innate feeling to apologize. So, for what it's worth, I'm sorry that I haven't made any videos recently. But I don't think anybody's banging down my proverbial door for them. But as most of us, just life gets busy. Through the week, it's usually difficult for me to make videos just with work. By the time I get home, it had been, dark or getting dark, and have things to tend to at home and that kind of stuff. So, being a college professor, the summer months are always a little bit more laid back. And sorry for the noise. It's almost planting season, so my neighbor is running the plow through his probably bean field this year. So he's going through that. But anyway, haven't made a video in a while, but I'm back to make one here. Can't promise I'll make a lot until the semester ends, but I actually feel semi-caught up right now, which probably means that I'm actually way behind. I just don't realize it yet. That's really the only two feelings. Being behind, or being behind and not realizing it. But probably the same feeling my students have. So we're all in the same boat together. I did have a point for this video. It wasn't just to check in and give you a big update or anything. But lots of things have been going on, and I've done a lot of things around the house, and done a lot of things. I think this past weekend was the first weekend my wife and I were both home together in probably 2 months, which is pretty wild. And a little bit of housekeeping. I'm smoking corncob pipe and a button nose, which I realize is wildly inappropriate for the season and the weather that we have, since spring is officially here. I just mowed my lawn for the first time this past weekend, which is always a very relaxing and satisfying feeling. Because when the first grows, the first time of the spring, some of the grass is growing faster than the others, so you have like little patches, and it's like jungle area in some areas, then desert in other areas. So hopefully it'll start to even out soon. So spring has sprung, so it's weird that I'm smoking a winter blend, but it just kind of sounded nice. It sounded like a good idea, and I've smoked it in the pipe that I'm showing here quite often. And this is really the purpose of the video, so I'll try to keep it short. But in my last video, or semi-last video, I had asked for input from you guys on doing a repair. This is the pipe that has a couple little nicks in it and pits in it that weren't filled, which I like. I like that look to it. But one of them was all the way through the bowl. And so I didn't want to just smoke the pipe and have it potentially burn out on me, which it might still do, but I wanted to at least give it a head start. So I asked about patching it and pipe mud and things like that. And I appreciate all the comments that you guys gave me, but I decided to go with what I kind of thought I would anyway. And so I appreciate that you guys really just reconfirmed my initial thoughts. Nobody steered me in any other direction or thought that it was a dumb idea. I did use some pipe mud made out of cigar ash and my own saliva. And I didn't video that because, and in retrospect maybe I should have, but it just didn't seem that interesting to me. I was just thinking, I wouldn't watch this, why would I make a video? And if you stuck with me this long, you might be thinking the same thing about this video. But anyway, I made up some pipe mud. I used maybe half of a cigar and just used my little spoon side of my pipe nail. Stirred it together in a little ashtray until it became this kind of almost the same consistency of like a thin set mortar. maybe a little thicker than that, like if you're laying ceramic tile. And I spooned it in and just tried to push it into the pit as well as I could in the bowl. So it didn't do anything on the outside. And I let it harden for probably 3 or 4 days. And then I slowly broke in this pipe. This pipe didn't have any carbon coating on it to begin with, and I didn't coat the entire inside with the pipe mud, just down the nick side, or the pit side, and I tried to smooth it over as well as I could. And I've had a lot of success. This is probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 bowls at least 10, probably between 10 and 15 bowls now through this. I probably did 2 or 3 half bowls and then went straight into full bowls, which I know is not what most people would consider proper break-in method, but this was a seconds pipe. I got it on clearance from Pipes and Cigars. It smokes wonderfully. The draw is perfect. It's wide open, easy to pass a cleaner. I love this little, like, almost 1/8 of a bend to it. So I had no complaints. And really, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, if this turned out even half as good as a corn cob, would I could use it as a beater pipe and smoke while I mow, or smoke while I work around the yard, or take it with me camping, or take it with me hunting, or whatever. And if anything horrible happened to it, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's a little more substantial than a corn cob, or just something different than a corn cob. Whoops. And I just broke my softy bit. And so I've had a softy bit on it, and it's really not for protection, it's more for comfort. The one downside, or not a flaw, but the one thing that doesn't jive well with me, is that the end of this bit is just tapered ever so slightly, but in a very weird position. It's probably not coming through very well with the sun going down, but it has a weird taper to it, so it just doesn't feel very comfortable on either side of my mouth, and so I wanted something so I could clench on it, and looks like I've clenched through the softy bit. But anyway, the real purpose of the video, 7.5 minutes in, sorry, it's just to check in, say hi. I appreciate all the videos you guys are making, all the new people I've stumbled across. It's been a lot of fun catching up and keeping up with those videos. I enjoy the content. I enjoy seeing the new tobaccos and the reviews or the impressions. Those are always enjoyable. So please keep doing that. It's always a fun time. This is not new tobacco. It's not a new pipe. But I wanted to let you guys know that the pipe mud worked very well. Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember the cigar that I used, but I can't suggest that would make a big difference. Just smoked it through and tapped off about half of the cigar ash into my ashtray, and then, like I said, mixed up a little kind of thin set mortar consistency to spoon in, and it's worked great. I have no complaints yet. I feel like I've smoked over a good enough carbon cake on it now that hopefully it'll hold and not have any problems, but I'll keep you updated if anything changes. Otherwise, I assume this is a pretty good ending to this short series, and could become very boring very quickly if I continue to update on how it's working. Oh my goodness. Great ending to the video. So, sun's starting to come down. You can probably see it's hitting me right in the face, and I have someone who's very intrusive on my lap now. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time.